Hello, my darlings. Happy full moon coming up. It is Leo season. It's the vibe. Variety is the spice of life, so I have every single color of black on today. My black shoes, I've got my little shungite heart over here, black serviettes, and a dear friend of mine had given me some quick drying 1.0s, and I'm just like, it's like silk. It's like velvet. It's delicious and delightful. So please join me. We're going to be talking about, this is our introductory video for the full moon that we have coming up in Aquarius at 9 degrees. So please grab your coffee or tea. Please grab your journal. We're going to go over a few dates and kind of a little bit of the vibration of what everybody might be feeling going into this full moon. And then we're going to deep dive into how we can utilize this energy in our individual rising sign videos that we'll do a little bit later on. So if we have not met, welcome. My name is Sarah. I am a healer, a light worker, starseed, spiritual counselor. I'm your alien friend. I might look human, but I am very, very different. My consciousness is from a different time and space that came down to the planet during this time of the awakening to help the human beings. And so my quest that my guides have given me is to find and train the new leadership team for the awakened, ascended new earth. My 3 tiers of empowerment for myself are a foundation of metaphysical practices, whether that be meditation, spirituality, tarot, astrology. 1 tier is leadership, growth, and development. We are leaders, entrepreneurs, business owners, CEOs, heads of family, people that are spearheading in their industry in a way that might not make sense to you. So if you've been brought here, just know that you're a way shower and a light worker and a guide, and just listen to the vibrations of the video and you'll kind of have a little bit of a waking up in a DNA level and stuff like that. It's just going to awaken you just by being here. And then my final tier, my 3rd tier, is creative expression and artistry. And for me, that is, body painting, singing, dancing, very performative healing. I'm a very ostentatious being on this planet. And so for a lot of people, that can be a little bit disconcerting. But I like to give it a little bit of a flair, These things aren't slowing down, and this world is meant to be enjoyed. We're all going to die one day, so why don't we find a little bit of joy in the awakening? And kind of like the parable I've given is I'm a violinist on the side of the Titanic, so as we're going down, I'm going to do a little jig for you. So join me today, if you will, and grab your journal, pause this video. I'll grab the shungite while you pause. All right, so let's go over this full moon. The head versus the heart is what we're going with. That's what's happening here. So this full moon is happening at 9 degrees of Aquarius. For the Gold Coast in Australia, this is happening on the 2nd of August at 4:31. For Gloucester, Eastern Standard Time, this is happening on the 1st of August at 14:31, which is 2:31 p.m. And for Central Standard Time, it's happening on the 1st of August at 13:31, which is 1:31. But I love how 13:31 is like butterfly wings and versions of each other. So if you're into numerology, definitely check those things out. But so Sarah, let's go over this. What the fuck is a full moon, and why does this matter to me in my life as a leader? What are you telling me? So, when you go to the beach, you probably check the tides to be like, I would like to enjoy some of the beach instead of just like a little pinky nail of it. So if we do that, why don't we utilize that same vibration, that same lens for ourselves, since our human bodies are made up of mostly water and we're very affected by the moon cycles. So full moons, what do we know about full moons? This is, the werewolf comes out. We all become the werewolf on the full moon. It's where the moon is full and bright in the sky. And that's when the sun and the moon are in complete oppositions of each other. So that's why I give the dates for the time zones of the people that are here in this community, because everyone, regardless of where you are on the planet, have a full moon. Sometimes it's different dates, yada, yada, yada. So when the sun and the moon are in complete opposition to each other, what does that mean, Sarah? It means that we're letting something go. We're releasing something. We're giving it back, like letting go and letting God, if you've ever heard that phrasing before. You don't have to do all of this on your own. You have enough on your plate. You're a leader in your own life. You have enough on your plate. God, the universe, Mother Gaia is saying, give it to me but let me know what it is. I'm shining a light in the house, in the area of your chart where you could let it go. You know, just because it's happening over here, we have all these aspects of ourselves. We have all these houses in our chart. Everybody has a full chart. Everybody. But I like to think of the sun and the moon as like a lighthouse, shining a light on an area of your life that you could utilize these energies for. So with the sun over here in Leo energy, and definitely go back and watch my Leo season introductory video. That's something that I don't want to repeat all of myself there, because we had a Venus retrograde, we have Chiron retrograde, we have a bunch of different planets that are retrograde right now, but that happens every year, literally every year. So definitely don't look at retrogrades as a negativism. It's just a chance to look inward and to, instead of looking for things out there, go in and identify what it is that we're going to give over to the moon, and then highlight it and then say, here, take this away. I don't want it anymore. And if we don't do this work and we don't utilize this energy, a full moon is going to naturally be for everyone a chance where the universe will highlight something that maybe you didn't know about. Something that, like, you had your feelers were going off, was in the periphs, and the full moon is like, here, this actually sucks. You've been delusional, Neptune, Saturn in Pisces, and have seen the light inside of that person, that being. You know, this is happening in the general wheel, in the house of community, friendships, and wishes for the future. You know, I don't remember who the leader it was that had said this phrasing, but they were like, you know, you pack light on your awakening. You can't take everybody with you. You can't take your old patterns with you. You can't take toxic people with you, any of that. But yeah, pack light on the awakening. Pack light on the awakening. So it's going to bug me. Little Pluto. So we have the sun over here in Leo energy, and we have the moon over here in Aquarius at 9 degrees of Aquarius. So the sun is in our 5th house, or Leo runs the 5th house. So the 5th house is about creativity, joy, romance, childlike spirits, kiddos if we want those or have those, or looking to have those. And it's all about the heart. To me, it's like the Stand By Me kids, the Sandlot kids. That's the age where it's just like, no, I will protect you. I will fucking protect you to the bitter end, until I have to go home when my mom tells me I have to go home and I have to eat dinner. But until then, I'm with you, and I'm fighting these battles with you. And what do we know about Aquarius energy? In my personal opinion, they are the aliens of the zodiac. They are the ones for the next 20 years that have contracted literally being like the inadvertent light-working billionaires, in my opinion. It's just like, if you were an Aquarius, sun, moon, or rising, just know that like the next 20 years of your life, regardless of how old you are going to be the most transformational, and most likely in a very up and up way, if you've been doing the work and you're a good soul, you know, those types of things. But where was I? So how are we going to be feeling? What did I write down? The head versus the heart. Oh, that's something that I wanted to also highlight, which was fascinating. We're going to have 2 full moons in August. So if you've been here with me for a little while, you know that I follow a whole bunch of different cycles. And really, depending on divine masculine or feminine, whatever it is that you're doing in the world, kind of pick and choose a few of them. On my Patreon page, I have a kind of like a deep dive into the cycles that I follow and what some are that you can use. So I'll make sure to keep the link for that below. And if you're keen on joining, there's a few videos already in there that are like deep dives. I have the generational quests, like all different things. So please, and also reach out directly if you're not keen for the Patreon. I can just send you the video directly. So please reach out if you're interested in all those things. So with 2 full moons in August, it's kind of like, you know, when you have like those incredible work months where you're like, there's 5 Saturdays, there's 5 paydays, this is amazing. It's kind of like for this August 2023 versus September of 2023, it's going to be like, we're going to be releasing a lot right now. We're going to be letting a lot go, or we have access to the ability to let a lot go. And the cycles that we've been having have been at the beginning of the month, all year, we have a full moon release, and we give it away. But starting in September, which I find to be fascinating, because, you know, September is usually like back to school season, and when we're a little bit like, all right, we're going into the fall, let's get our shit together type stuff. That's going to be when we'll start off the month with a new moon, which is perfect time to manifest and plant seeds for the future of what we do want. So I just find that to be really fascinating, that we're flipping the switch a little bit, which is so congruent for the way that we naturally go through those cycles. I have a video that I'm going to record about kind of like the earth signs, or I'm going to break it up into the sign groups and stuff, but you know more about astrology than you think you do. I'm just planting that seed. Like the natural flows that you normally go through are pretty much based on astrology. So let's deep dive. Okay, so we have the sun and the moon in opposition of each other. So as the sun is in Leo and we're enjoying ourselves, we're having hot girl summer, we know that with Venus retrograde, we're not changing up our hairstyle, we're not making massive purchases. We're going to want to go back to our ex. The exes are reaching out and all of those things. But instead of like getting back into it or doing things that are like grandioso and like these leaps of faith, we're all going to have this energy of like, I can fucking fly if I want to. Don't, Venus retrograde. Don't. Just look at, if an ex texts back or if someone comes back into your life from the past, what crumbs, what gold nuggets were left in there? What was left unsaid? Close it up with a bow. Leo, we like things beautiful. Like Leo, Taurus, Libra, we like things gorgeous. We like bougie shit. So like, why don't we look at, if somebody does text back, was there something that you wanted to say? We have Mars over here in Virgo in our house of everyday life practical service. We also have Mercury in Virgo. We're going to have a Mercury retrograde in Virgo as well. Mercury retrogrades for 2023 are all happening in earth signs. So we are setting a fucking foundation. Since January, we've been manifesting and planting redwood seeds. Like this is huge growth, huge development, like massive leaps of consciousness. Like we're jumping timelines and like making quantum leaps of paradigms. So like if things are slowing down, it's only because like there's something that you don't know, full moon, community, friendships, something you don't know about that person, that thing, whatever is not moving, that when you do get your abundances and you're at the tippity top, you wouldn't have wanted that person there, or you wouldn't have wanted whatever it was. So a really beautiful phrase that a friend of mine had told me about was, rejection is God's protection. So if something's just not vibing, not clicking, like don't try to fucking put that round peg in a square hole anymore. Just sit and love upon yourself. Please go back and watch the introductory video for Leo season. Please go do that. So what do we have going on right now? So I'll talk about the retrogrades that we have first, so we can kind of see, like, every year we have retrogrades. Right now we have Venus retrograde, we have Chiron retrograde, we have Saturn retrograde, Pluto retrograde, and Neptune retrograde. These are a lot of big hitters, big, heavy hitters. So utilize that energy to look within, identify what does not serve and work for you, and give it over to the moon. If you don't want to go into your rising sign, if you don't want to go into the individual readings, as a collective, let's look at all things Aquarius, community and friendship, wishes for the future. This is fixed, positive air energy. The Aquarians know a fucking thing or two about a thing or two. Again, they're the ones that are going to be the light working billionaires for the next 20 years. It's very, very exciting. Pluto left Aquarius. The reason that I say that is because Pluto will be in Aquarius for starting in the end, fully in the end of 2024, and will be there for the next 20 years. But Pluto dipped back down into Capricorn. So Capricorn, on the general wheel, runs our house of legacy, public life, career, vocation, but just kind of like this house is your job, your everyday life, practical service. This is how you're seen up there. This is how you're seen up there. So Pluto dipping back down into this house, as well as Chiron over here going retrograde in our house of self, the storefront view of ourselves. And please do your own research on all these things. If what I'm saying is a little bit like you're talking woo-woo again, Sarah, just make some notations about what resonates with you and do your own research within those capacities. But basically this lens is saying we're feeling a little bit of a wince of can I do it? Can I actually accomplish what it is that my soul came here to do? Yes, you fucking can. Just let go of toxic patterns and beliefs, and don't listen to that old story that your brain is playing for you. Your brain is a figuring out machine, this reptilian brain, but it is also a muscle. It is, a history, a filing cabinet. And remember, we don't get mad at our heart for beating or our lungs for breathing. So why do we get mad at our brain for thinking? We've got a lot of intrusive thoughts happening over here. We've got a lot of really like, if you're just awakening and you're opening up to the collective consciousness, there's a lot of fear-based rhetorics out there. And as you pull yourself away from, maybe watching television or listening to certain demonic music, it's going to feel a little bit scary because you're picking up on the fear of everybody out there that's still participating in these dialogues because they're fucking terrified. It is terrifying to close your eyes and meditate and look at the inner parts of yourself that maybe you don't want to look at. So we use the energy of the planet and be like, I release and let go of people, places, and things that do not serve my most authentic timeline. When you declare that, it is law. And you've told your guides, like, on it. I will show you how shitty this person is. I will show you a situation where they send you the screenshot if they were actually bitching about you and you get to see them in their most authentic light. Or, the ex texts back and you get to be like, you know what? I'm done. Or just block. Or just be done. Like, utilize your new standards and have high standards. Leo energy is top tier motherfucking shit. Like, I want you to say, you know what? No more of this crumbs and pebbles and hey, ... texts. Like, you are so worthy of your queen or king. But if you're not treating yourself, Venus retrograde, as that new leveled up version of yourself, you're going to still receive, hey, ... texts, or any sort of pebbles, inconsistency, until you finally say, no more. No more. That's what we're looking at right now. Because the planets that we have direct, we have Mars direct, we have Mercury direct, we have Uranus direct, and we have Jupiter direct. Like, oh my God, and they're all in earth signs. So this is foundational shit, girl. This is like, I know it feels scary to level up. I know it feels so intense to be like, this person knew me as a passive little flower and now I have to stand up and just like put on my ambitious pants. Yeah, you do. But then when you get to that next level and you meet those new people, those new community members, when Pluto finally goes back into Aquarius, you have all this space for new people that are on your level, where you don't have to diminish yourself or justify yourself or ever preface yourself. If there's anyone in your life that you're like, I know this is going to sound weird, or I know that this is cuckoo, or I my woo is showing again, then why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Don't do that. And if they can't handle you, it will be very apparent. It'll be very clear. If you call that friend that you're really not sure if they're going to fit into your new reality, and you just say, oh my goodness, I was connecting to my spirit guide from this, that, and the third. We were chatting about this and I was in meditation and like this was happening. And then I'm really having trouble removing sugar from my life. I'm going through a full detox. Like, what are you up to today? And they're like, I watched the news and there's war everywhere and I should be afraid of everything. Then it will just naturally dissipate, just naturally. And it just, not that you're in competition ever with anybody. This is not a road race. This is not, you are in your own lane. Stay in your own fucking lane. There's no traffic in your lane. Your abundance and your most authentic self, you're the only one that's meant for. So you can sit down in your lane. You can take time in your lane. There's no competition. Don't look to the right. Don't go look to the left. Just stay focused on where you're going and show the world, speak to the world who you really are. Because I want you bigger. We've got really great, like fucking great earth energy over here. And these are also some phrases that if you'd like to do some research into more of the astrology, I'll highlight the Energy Boutique as well as Pam Gregory. Those are the two astrologers that I follow, and they will deep dive into trines, oppositions, squares, the way that the planets are interacting with each other. But although astrology is one of my lenses and one of my tiers, it's an incorporation into my metaphysical practice. It is not the only one. So I'll put I'll put links to their pages below so you can reference those, and they will do videos on this full moon. There'll be infinite resources, like so much stuff happening. So let's see, I'll highlight a little the two, where is it? Mercury and Saturn are in opposition of each other. So this is the health axis, the 6th and the 12th, and I have Mercury, my planet of communication, in opposition with Saturn, our disciplinarian, our papa time, our get shit done planet, which is retrograde over in Pisces. Definitely, I did a video on mental health and Saturn and Pisces. Mental health is a big fucking deal right now. It is no fucking joke. So if you're experiencing issues, please, my email address is always below for a private session. If I'm someone that you feel comfortable and confident communicating with, if you'd like to share what you're going through with the group, please comment below and let someone else know what you're feeling and what you're experiencing, because it's real heavy. There's so much fear in the collective consciousness. There's so much fear in the dream space. There's so much fear being sent to the planet vibrationally. So if you're picking up on that, you're not alone, and not all these thoughts are your own. These are intrusive thoughts. This is the psychic attacks. This is not just my language, but if any of this is something that you're interested in, please reach out directly, and my email address is below. Send me a line, we'll set up a session. So we have these two planets in opposition of each other, basically being like, what do I know and what am I thinking about and why? And Saturn retrograde is like, no, you're not good enough. You're not good enough to talk about your downloads. You're not a fucking light worker. You don't know anything. You know a thing or two about a thing or two. And if you're here with me, it means that you're a leader, someone that needs to be talking about their downloads, needs to be talking about their messages and the way that they experience the world. Definitely go back and watch my Leo season introduction. I talk a little bit about so many of us shine in different ways, and the way we receive messages and downloads are going to be different. So never not share. Always share. This is the dream I had. This was me talking to my dead grandmother. She's here with me right now. I'm taking dog energy with me. I'm living into the vibration of dog energy. Or I have a wolf that is here as a protector of mine. Like, yeah, the amount of light workers and like spirit guides that I have walking with me at all times when I'm out and about in the world, it's like I look like I'm 10 feet tall exactly. It's actually funny. My guides told me that my angel wings make me 10 feet tall exactly. So it must be like I've had just random humans when I'm walking down the street, just like going to my human job. They literally cross the street. They're like, I don't know what's happening over there. It's kind of cool. So we have opposition of Saturn and Mercury. We have a trine with Mars and Jupiter, and then we have a square of Pluto and the nodal axis. So I'll definitely, again, highlight Pam Gregory and the Energy Boutique. Incredible resources, and that is their first language, astrology. So please access those pages or do your own research and find someone that, if it's not me, if you want to deep dive into those, it's infinity upon infinity. So whatever is best for you. But here, what I would love to highlight as a collective is let go of anything that doesn't come with you to the new world. What's the new world, Sarah? Where everybody on the planet has time freedom, financial freedom, clean energy, access to food and water, a roof over their heads. Like, what if you had infinite time and infinite money? And everybody else on the planet had infinite time and infinite money as well. What does the community that you vibe with in that space look like? Is it, buying acres and acres of land and being out in the wilderness and, just growing your own food and, doing trade with other families on that land? Is it, in a city where you, own an apartment building and you can give people access to affordable housing and, help them be the best versions of themselves, but be in a little bit more of a hustly and bustly area? Again, we're going into a very galactic time, in my opinion. This is the Aquarian age, Pluto going back into Aquarius. So the visual that I like to give is, everybody has a horse and buggy and a flying car. So you can kind of just like do whatever you want. So that's something to think about as well. So daydream into that. Like, who do you want to be? And this is before the full moon. On the full moon, we're giving things away. So I'd love for you to spend some time journaling or just maybe going on a walk and daydreaming about like, what is the future and the community that I want? What is it? What does it look like? Are they creatives? Are they artists? Are they intellectuals? Are they aliens? Are they spiritual beings? Do I want to sell all my possessions and move to a different area of the world? Do I want to be able to travel and be a nomad? Like, If nobody needed you, what would you do? If you have infinite time and infinite money, do you want to travel? Do you want to do things? Like, what does your future image look like? And then with that knowledge, look at your active life right now. Look at your life right now. And say, okay, this is definitely not coming with me. I diminish myself for this person. I play into the role I used to play with them. I got nothing for this anymore. I'd like to naturally start to end my relationship with them. And you don't have to do this actively. We're using the woo-woo for this one. This is like, I have tons of leadership videos about how to do these things actively, but like with Mars over here in Virgo, some of our words are going to be a little bit cutting. So let's do some magic around here, but identifying this person isn't serving me anymore. This person isn't serving me. And, if this is someone that you do, and then, okay, and find out on the spectrum, okay, do I want to keep them at all? If not, we'll use some magic to release that person. Do I want to rebrand the relationship, the soul contracts? Do I want to find another bucket for them? Okay, cool. Instead of having it be like, this is what you used to take from me and it was part of my skin and, I used to pay the bill all the time. You can rebrand and say, this is a new boundary. It's not stay out of my life. This is what I can offer now. I have the windows open and the gulls are just so beautiful today. This is what I can offer to you right now. I used to offer you this, but that was a little bit too much for me and I had to take a lot of time to unpack what was going on. This is what I can offer you now. Take it or leave it. And then we give them the chance to say yay or nay. Sorry, I'm drinking my organic coconut water. And I don't drink alcohol anymore, so I always put all of my beverages in like bougie cups. It's Leo season, you gotta show up. My chipped cups. That's a story for another day. If you know me, you know. Let me rephrase, if you know my human, you know. But, so, I know that this can be intimidating, and I know that, I work very, very quickly. In my private sessions, I do half-hour as well as full-hour sessions because I work very, very quickly, and it can be very intense for my one-on-one clients. I've had a lot of clients that literally just sit down at the table and they just start crying immediately just by showing up because the tools that I give you are very, very quick tools to use. And that's going to be highlighted for everyone with the nodes. I have the North node right now in Aries and the South node is in Libra. And I did talk about that a little in my full moon video and a few other videos as well that just happened in the past few. I talked about it in the new moon as well. So that was last week. Actually, what day of the week is it as I record this? That's why. Just so y'all know what's going on. Today is, I think, the 22nd, 23rd, 24th of July. And we're talking about the 1st or 2nd of August. So last week we had the full transition of the nodes into Aries and Libra. So we're starting a new 18-month cycle right now. And this is the North node, our collective destiny, the head of the dragon, what we're working towards. In Aries, the I am sign. So as a collective, we're all like, I gotta go first. I have to do this. I don't know how to do it. I'm fucking doing it. I'm just showing up every day. Just fucking showing up every day. So that's super exciting. And the South node is in Libra. South node is past life karma. And those words are very triggering in my practice. So it's kind of like the old ways that are the nice warm blanket of what we used to be, and the codependency and the jumping in the bed with the person that we know isn't our full self or our full person, that's ending. That's ending. So unbalanced, imbalanced relationships over the next 18 months for the collective, whether it's conscious or unconscious or subconscious, they're all going to be ending. And we're going into a time of maybe, again, some of these words are trigger words, but unconventional relationships, and kind of having everything be a little bit on the spectrum of not situationships, but this is what I can offer. Can't handle it, I'm done. That's it. And it's not, what do you bring to the table? What are you doing to unpack your traumas? This, that, and the other thing. It's like, no. We speak from I statements. Aries, I am. That is the Aries statement. I am. So I am offering this. I am working towards this. And let nobody, do you hear me? Let nobody stand in the way of your motherfucking goals. That time is done. That time is done around here. So, okay. My guides are telling me to wrap it up a little bit. I think that's it. Yeah. We have Lilith, Black Moon Lilith over here in Leo, has been for a little while. It's a 9-month cycle, very, very divine feminine. So when you step into your full Lilith power, especially in Leo, you can't go back. You can't go back. Like, if you're here with me, whether you believe it or not, whether you know it or not, you've left the old 3D paradigm. You've left the old situation. You've left the old you on the river, and you're in the boat. You're like, I know I'm going towards something. I just don't know what the fuck it is. And I got the skeleton boatman who's leading the way, but that's my friend, Eli. Really cool dude. Just trust that even if you can't see the final goal, just release what you don't want to take with you. That's it. We don't have to figure it out right now. We're in the middle of a massive collective transition for the whole planet, for humanity. So we can only do so much in a day. We can only do so much in a full moon cycle. We can only do so much in a month, in a week, in a video. Okay, then I'll stop. So surrender to the heart. This is the head versus the heart. We're releasing things that we know in our bones are not meant for us, the people, the situations, and the communities that we're not meant to be in. And we're just giving it over to God of our understanding. You know, I use God brazenly. So again, if that is a trigger word for you, just please insert the universe, Mother Gaia, God, Goddess, all there is, or, you know, universal life force energy, whatever it may be. But we're giving it back over. We're saying, I don't want this anymore. Help me take it away. I'm done with this. And it'll happen naturally. But when we, again, to wrap back to the beginning, you can show up to the beach on high tide. You can choose actively to keep people in your life that are not meant to be in your life because you're afraid of being alone at the table. But something will happen over and over and over and over and over again until you finally learn the lesson. I promise. Thanks for being here, my darlings. We're going to deep dive into everything in the individual readings. I'm going to do, you know, I offer as much as I can on YouTube, but I'm really starting to put some of the deep dives into my Patreon community. So I'll put the link to that below. It's really only like I have a donation tier, and then I have just like the full tier, which will include every single rising sign video, all of my leadership, all of my personal growth and development, like everything. It's just one bucket. So if you're interested, please check that out, because I will do as much as I can to offer on YouTube for free. And like, if you're here with me, you are not alone, and you are so worthy of this information. But this is my soul's purpose, and I would love to create a very, very private community where people can engage with each other and become the most authentic versions of themselves in a more of a sacred space. Sometimes it can be very intimidating to comment on some of these videos. So I'm so grateful for everyone who does engage and who does comment and who does share these videos. So please share this video with, you know, someone who you think might be interested in it. And, you know, definitely don't preface with, I know this sounds cuckoo, but just say, hey, I follow this alien, and maybe some of her growth and development stuff could be advantageous for your growth and development. I know you've been confused and like maybe I've been going through a lot right now, but it's let them bust past my performative side and get to the good. But that's for them. Again, it's just an offering. So I love you. I hope you have a beautiful, blessed day. I'm here for anything. My email address is always below, and we're going to deep dive in the individuals. It's going to be fun. Ciao, babe.